So this is our final step, which is applying the SC6000, which is a sealant and protectorant. And like I said, it looks a little bit like a beeswax or something like that. And it's different though than waxes and similar looking items that people put on books. And one thing that's different, now this one is finished. I mean, I don't know if you can immediately tell the difference between this one that does not have the SC6000 and this one that does. There's a little bit of a shine to it, but it's not so much for looks as it is for protecting and sort of sealing in Clusel G for the red rot on the book leather. But another thing about this is that unlike certain waxes that people put on books, it's pretty thick and it will dry pretty quickly, so it's not going to be easy to work with for very long. And you can use different things to apply it. You could use a brush, or you could use a cloth. I usually use some kind of rag material that's soft but not too clingy. It just depends on the surface that you're working with, the type of book leather that you're working with, and how smooth or rough it is. Using a coloring step, as I did, by dyeing the book leather, that will affect how the SC6000 is applied. In other words, the ease with which you will be able to apply the SC6000. Because I used Meltonian shoe cream as a dye, when you put the SC6000 on, if you do a lot of rubbing, you're actually going to remove some of that color. You're going to have to just do some gentle, brief application as opposed to really rubbing it in. Now again, you want to let the color dry. I let it dry for 24 hours, and you want to wipe it. Now we also want to avoid the book cloth as we do this. Now I'm using a black bit of rag, clean rag at the moment, and I can tell you if this were a white rag, you would see a little bit of that color that we've just applied coming off onto the rag. Now we could minimize that, but we can't avoid it altogether when we've used the Meltonian shoe cream as a dye. I am not going to go back over that, you know, as tempting as it might be, because this gets sticky very quickly, and you're going to have multiple problems if you try to get back in there and go over it too much. Now again, in my opinion, ideally this is going to go on best when you're not using any kind of a dye, in particular if you're not using the Meltonian shoe cream dye. But that's the way we decided to go, and so we're working within that limitation. Now I have applied the SC6000 to the corners of this as well, and when this is completely dry, I will turn it over, do the other side. I may come back and do another run around the edges. Also, as soon as this is dry, I will take a clean rag. I use a Ritz 100% cotton cloth, and just gently run it over the surface. Okay, so this is the final result of our restoration of History of Our Country, an 8-book set of history books by Edward Ellis from 1905. Again, what we've done is to stop the red rot, which is a deterioration of the leather, by using Clusel G, a consolidant. We then added some color with Meltonian shoe cream, not regular shoe polish. We don't want to put shoe polish on book leather. And finally, a sealant coat of something called SC6000. Pretty happy with the result. Again, we don't do this professionally, just for pleasure and the love of books. And so things have turned out pretty well. On to the next project.